He's a true champion.
Kind, warm, welcoming.
Good sense of humor.
Magnificent.
Thoughtful and persistent.
People don't know about him, because he's just he's very private. That's his default, but in his professional life, I don't know how he pulls it off, but he does.
Just has this quiet leadership about him that is so impressive and kind of draws you in.
He's a good listener. You can see him being intent about listening to and trying to understand what each of the viewpoints are around the table. That's what I really appreciate about George, is that there's never fists pounding on the table. There's always just an intense listening, a really thoughtful comment, and a lot of patience in between.
There's been many opportunities where I've needed to think out loud, and he's been a safe haven for those days. There's been decisions about creating community, responding to hate crimes, issues of bias. There's been times when I have doubted myself and the direction I should take.
And in the skin that I'm in as a Latina woman, as a woman of color, and understanding that when he was in 4J, he was the only administrator or superintendent of color in Oregon. And I know the things that he had to struggle with when it came to race. And he did it with grace and ease. So in the ways that he has impacted me, that is one of the ways, because he taught me how to pull people in, not push, but pull people in and create allies. He created allies wherever he went, with his voice, with his strength, and with his integrity.
He is someone who never says no. And I can't tell you how many times I've called him up and said, George, would you help on this committee, or would you serve on this board? And he always listens, and then he figures out how he can contribute.
So beyond the local reach, George's local reach, he's influenced and helped shape policy at the state level as well through his service on the Children's Institute Board. And I reached out to Swati Adhikar, and she had some great comments about George. George is committed to expanding educational opportunity and bringing an equity lens that allows them to operationalize their vision beyond words. He's an essential leader in helping shape our early childhood policy agenda, Swati says, and carrying that message to policymakers he is highly respected in Salem. Everybody wants George to serve on their board.
If I show up and George is there, I know I'm in the right place. And I'm always amazed at how much he does do. And he says he's retired. I think he's working more now than he did when he was actually working. He's just everywhere for the right cause. And so he seems to have just an endless bounty of resources and riches to share on behalf of our community.
He was a superintendent for over 11 years. He was superintendent of the year for our state in 2004. United Way Board, I think he was the chair of that board. He's currently the chair of Looking Glass Board. He was on Shelter Care. We served on that board together. NAACP. He helped start Connected Lane County and really start coordinating efforts, Early Learning Alliance, Success by Six. The list is very long. That's just a few of them.
The thing I appreciate most about George is that anytime that I have a student in need or an educator in need, just an individual, he's somebody that I can text or call, and he'll always pick up, or he'll always answer back and offer time to problem solve, even for an individual student.
He mentored some students through middle school all the way through high school. Regardless of what he was doing or what he had scheduled, he would show up at the school every Thursday. Sometimes they didn't, but he was there. He made it a priority.
I think it's no surprise to anyone that he cares deeply about students, all kids, all young people, and that he particularly cares about students of color. I think what people forget is he translates that care to all other communities for young people that are struggling. It doesn't matter whether it's students with disabilities, GLBTQ students, students who are first-generation schoolgoers. He cares about them all. He recognizes the barriers that they face, and he works to overcome them, and he calls upon us all to do the same.
He doesn't say it. You know, it's other people. Oh, yeah, George came and had lunch with a couple of our students that are struggling, you know, that are on the verge of dropping out. And he's there for them, supporting them. And so these are the untold stories. And then now you have a collection of adults that you can see the ripple effects because they're in the community making changes. And you ask them, who was influential in your life? Who impacted you? And they're like, George Russell.
When things are going right, you're the person I want there with me to celebrate. And when things are going wrong, you're the person I want there with me to help make them right. So I so appreciate all you do for me, for Looking Glass and the community. I can't thank you enough for that, and I really just am so happy and honored to talk about you and your worthiness for this much-deserved Baker Award. Thank you, George.
You've given service to our community in so many ways. At times it was a part of your career, and it never appeared that way. It was always, to me, felt like it came from your heart. And I think everyone that has seen you in action and seen the hours well beyond your time as a school district superintendent, whether through retirement or just after hours, even at that time, know that you care about the community, and you've given us the gift of your values, your time, and your hopefulness. Your hopefulness that we could become a community that's better tomorrow than it is today. And so I appreciate that. Thank you, George.
George, I'd really like to thank you for being such an awesome example of community service. You have been and continue to be an inspiration to me and to so many people in our community. And you just are so deserving of this honor. I want you to know that you are truly a community treasure. So thank you and enjoy.
George, United Way is so pleased to honor you with the Alton F. Baker Award for your passion and your commitment to serving children. You are so deserving.
Not only am I proud of you, but our entire family continues to be proud of you and recognize the importance of what you do, not only for our family, but for the community, specifically kids. I know you realize what an honor it is to receive this award, and we all love you very much.
Congratulations, Mr. R. Thank you so much for all you do to make Eugene, Lane County, the state of Oregon, a better place for our children.
Thank you for your leadership, your love, your trust, your legacy that you have left in our community, but most importantly, the ways that you have touched me, the ways that you have inspired me, and the ways that you have mentored me. Thank you so much for your love.